Hi, I'm John Mayfield for the Real Estate Business Institute and Easy Sales Meetings with another sales meeting to help you with your real estate career. And by the way, we have lots of small businesses who watch our sales meetings as well. So try to design meetings, many of our meetings, to fit into any business category. So we're going to talk about tiny habits today. That's right, tiny habits. It's actually based on a book by a gentleman by the name of BJ Fogg. He wrote an interesting book called The Tiny Habits, the Small Changes That Change Everything. And my meeting objective is really to help you create habits, good positive habits, tiny habits that can impact your business for prospecting and other ways and things you need to be doing as a business professional. So let's get into tiny habits and talk about today's meeting. Well, the first thing I'd like for you to do is actually get out a piece of paper, or perhaps you have a 3x5 index card, and I want you to write on the card, what do you enjoy doing and what do you dislike doing? I want you to make sure that it's business related. So again, ask yourself, what are some things that I really enjoy doing each and every day at work? And what are some things that, I just am not real crazy about doing those items. And it's okay if it's prospecting. Maybe you're not good at prospecting. Maybe it's not good at cold calling. But write those down on your piece of paper or your index card. Now, at this point in the video, you're welcome to stop the tape and take a moment to write those items down. Now, after you've had a chance to write down what you like or dislike, I'd love for you to share those with your team and your group. So again, you can pause the video, have some time to discuss some of these items. Feel free to share. That's how we learn, is when we share what works for us and what doesn't work. So be honest with your group and say, here's what I have a challenge doing or I don't like. And just take a moment to talk about some of those items. Well, in Fogg's book, he says if you want to start a tiny habit, you have to start with something small. Small, tiny habits. Now, why is this? Most of us want to start out trying to exercise or run a mile or do all these great things. We're going to call on 20 prospects. We have great intentions, but what happens to us? Well, the unfortunate part is we fail. And why is it that we fail? Because we didn't start with a small step. Fogg actually says that as human beings, we're more motivated to do things that, number one, we like to do, and number two, things that we can do. So what is it that you like to do or you can do? Well, let's talk about 3 good ways to prospect for new business. What would be 3 things or 3 items that you could do daily to prospect for new business? Now, as a real estate professional, we could prospect for expired listings, right? We could call our sphere of influence. We could do cold calling. We could send out letters. We could call on for sale by owners. We could work a farm area. I mean, there's lots of things we could do. So take a moment, write down 3 good ways that you could prospect for new business. And then I want you to talk about and discuss those in your group. What are some ways that you could prospect for new business? Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to actually, on the back side of this postcard, I want you to write down what would be something that, one item that you could do for each of these good ways to prospect for business. Just one item is all I want you to write down. For example, if you put down, okay, I could call on expired listings, what's one thing you could do every day that would be a tiny habit? Well, naturally, it could be either calling. You want to check the do not call list, right? But you could call them, Or like I do, just send a letter, right? You could have an expired listing letter that you could send, or a postcard, have some type of a system. But write down on the back of that postcard one item that you could do under those 3 ways to prospect for new business. And here's what I want us to talk about. And these are the items that Fogg really sums up in his book. First of all, you need to begin with a starter step. Now, what's that mean? Well, it means don't try to bite off more than you can chew. You know, he uses the example, if you want to start jogging, start with putting your tennis shoes on every day at a certain time. Or, any kind of, I was thinking about expired listings, and I thought, okay, if you want to start calling on expired listings, you could look up an expired listing and write that down on a piece of paper, the name and the phone number, do the research. But if you're going to go that far, why don't you just call one expired listing per day? Start with a starter step. I think that's so important. Number 2, Fogg says, make it something you can do quickly. In other words, don't create a habit that's going to take you a long time to accomplish. It's got to be something very quick that you can get easy and out of. Do you want to start doing push-ups and you'd like to set a goal of doing 50 push-ups a day? Well, don't try to sit there and do 50 push-ups. Start with 1 or 2 push-ups. Or perhaps you want to start working out daily. And it could be a wide variety of working out. For the ladies, it could be doing aerobics. It could be also doing, trying to think of the thing that Pilates that my wife has that she likes. But instead of sitting down and saying, oh gosh, I'm going to try to do 20 minutes today, do 2 minutes. Why? Because it's easy and you can do it what? You can do it quickly. And Fogg says, if you can get that done quickly and do it easy, and it's something easy and you can do it quickly, you're more likely to continue to do that tiny habit, and it will take root and form into a consistent habit each and every day. Now, the next item that Fogg says is you have to stay consistent with this. In other words, sustainable change means doing the same things day in, day out. Hey, it's got to be consistent. If it's not consistent, it's not going to become a habit. So for a tiny habit to become a big habit and something that's positive in your life, it's got to be easy. You've got to be able to do it quickly. And those 2 items actually lead right into this third point, is that you will do this consistently and it will take root and become a good habit. Again, and I've mentioned this, it has to be something easy, quick, easy, consistently. Those are so huge if you want to form habits. And then I love this point that he talks about, create a trigger for a desired behavior. He says, if there's something you begin to do, tell yourself, wait a minute, before I can do that, I have to do this. Or if I'm going to do this each and every time, the trigger is I do something else. He talked about the fact that every time he would go do a specific task in his house, he would have to drop down and do 2 push-ups. And that led him into doing more and more push-ups. I'm thinking about, okay, you're getting ready to check your social media. Stop yourself and say, before I can look at social media, I have to send a handwritten note or a handwritten postcard. Or before I get on social media today, I'm going to do this. See, make a trigger that will go along with that. And I think that will be a great way for you to begin to form tiny habits. Well, again, we have to be consistent with our habits. And as Fogg says here, when you make something simple and easy to do, you're much more likely to actually do it. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this sales meeting. It's a short, quick sales meeting. It's a great book. I love habits, positive habits, and I'm always trying to form good, positive habits. I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes it's easy for us to get out of the habit of doing certain things. You know, most of this year was really good when I first woke up in the morning. I have my notes app. I go through some different things on my notes app, like reading my affirmations, and I spend some time praying for different people in my life that I know who could use my prayer, and just spending some time in meditation, thoughts, and prayer, and again reading my affirmations. And I'm normally very, very consistent to do that. And one of the things I've noticed by doing that is my life has totally changed. Well, I have to be honest with you. You know, a day here, a day there, you take some time off, and all of a sudden I'm not doing those great habits on a consistent basis. So after going through this meeting myself, you know what? I'm going to shorten up my affirmation list, and I'm going to remind myself each and every day before I can have that first cup of coffee. I'm going to have to go through my affirmations, my prayer list, and a few of those other things that are so important and can make my day and my life so much more impactful and meaningful. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this sales meeting. Again, it's from BJ Fogg's book called Tiny Habits. Check it out. It's a great book. And also check out our other sales meetings at the REBI, Real Estate Business Institute. You can also go to my website, globalrealestateschool.com, find out more. You can go over to businesstechguy.com. Hey, thank you so much. I know you're going to have some tiny habits you will begin to implement that will make some huge, impactful, positive impacts on your life. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.